Today we have a viewer question from viewer Danger 1998. So with that adorable Jerry profile picture, Danger 1998 asks me, how do I forgive myself for losing when what I had the win in the palm of my hand? So let's start with this first. How does one forgive? Is forgiveness something you need a mechanical skill for? For example, if I want to bake bread, there's some technique involved in baking bread, right? I need to know the right ratio of sugar to flour to yeast. And need to know how to knead pretty well, right? And aside from kneading, I need to be able to tell when's the appropriate amount of time to, flip the dough. How much did it proof rise up? These are things I need mechanical skill for. To operate a YouTube channel, I need to be able to record videos. I need to be able to upload videos. I need to be able to do all these things, right? So these are things I need mechanical skill for. Now the question is forgiveness one of them? Is it really that we cannot forgive because we don't know how? What we have to understand is when we can't forgive, it's not a matter of I don't know how to. It's a matter of I don't want to, right? I can't forgive myself, not because I don't know how, because there is no skill required. There's nothing you need to know how to do to forgive somebody. It's about your resistance to forgiving yourself, right? So, why can't you forgive yourself? Well, the thing is, even though it's a game, right? When we have something good almost in the grasp of our hands, and then that good is taken away, it's sad, it sucks, it's bad, right? So this generally sucks, even if it was taken away from a power that you have no control over. So I had something really good in the palm of my hands, and then the wind took it. In that case, I can't really blame the wind. It's out of my control. But if I had something pretty good and then somebody stole it from me, then I'm like, whoa, that sucks, right? And now, think about this. What if I am the one who fucked myself over? In that case, it becomes very difficult to forgive myself because I am the one who prevented me from getting something good in my life, right? So, this is the mechanism that makes it difficult. When you have something that you covet, when you have something that you really, really want, and then it's taken away. So there's an interesting psychological underlying presumption here as well, right? So, what's the difference between something generally good that happens to other people versus this? Well, we feel like this is owed to us. Because it was so close and because I had been doing everything right until this point, it was mine if only I didn't mess up. So that underlying assumption of like, no, 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 this was supposed to be mine, really amplifies the negative feelings in this experience, right? Because now there's this idea of ownership. I feel like something that was mine, that was rightfully mine, that was justifiably mine, it's been taken away from me. And who took it away from me? I did. And therefore, of course, I cannot forgive myself. And that it makes sense, right? That makes me extremely violent towards myself. Why wouldn't you? You took something away from you. It makes sense, right? So this is all natural. What I'm saying is, if you covet something, of course you're going to suffer, right? It's like this. If you eat a lot of spicy food, of course you're going to have heartburn, right? If you drink a lot, of course you're going to be drunk. So this is things naturally resolving because of patterns that you are not necessarily intentionally participating in. Number one, You're not intentionally participating in this idea of, I want to win in Clash Royale so bad. But unconsciously you do, right? And unconsciously you think victory is yours, right? Again, this isn't something that you intentionally think about, but underlying, you think that you're owed this result. That's why it stings so bad when it's taken away. So all of these unconscious activities that you are doing as you engage with this game is naturally making you suffer. It's a cascading natural effect, right? So you don't know what to do. It's been like this for a year and you want to stop because you love the game, and I also feel like it's time to stop throwing little temper tantrums over a mobile game that doesn't even matter. Well, the thing is, it does matter, right? How we spend our time matters. So, how do you stop this? Well, first of all, you have to understand everything that we talked about so far. Forgiveness, it has nothing to do with technique. You already know how to forgive. So either forgive yourself or understand why this happens in the first place. It's because you covet that win so much, right? But then the thing is, let's think about it like this. If the game is too easy, then it has no value. Why? Because it's trivial. A game is good, a game is worth playing because it gives you a certain level of satisfaction. It gives you a certain level of overcoming challenges. That's what feels good about playing games that are worth your time, right? That's what keeps you drawing in. Because again, if you always win or if you always lose, it's demoralizing and you have no interest in continuing. So games are designed to do this by nature. So you love the game, sure, but you have to understand that you love the game because there are losses in it as well, right? So you can't just love the game and take just the victory because that makes the victory meaningless, right? So that's another thing you can do. And another thing you can do is think about how you think about victory. Why is it something that you implicitly think is owed to you? It may be something like, well, I put in this much time and effort, so I should be able to, like, if other people don't spend this much time and energy into this, so therefore it should be owed to me. But while that theoretically makes sense and it makes it likely and it makes it, more probabilistic that you will have the victory, it doesn't really happen like that all the time, right? Why do we have upsets in college sports? Why do we have upsets in sports events? Because you never know what's going to happen until the game is actually played. So the practice that you do, the reps you put in, are designed to increase the probability. But again, if the probability becomes 100%, it becomes meaningless to you. So when you have a more holistic view about how all of this works, then you can kind of see how to have a more balanced view about this game, right? Okay, so at the end, you're saying, please don't tell me it's okay to freeze up or some BS because it's not. You get eaten by the tiger in real life if you freeze up. This stupid lie needs to stop being perpetuated. This, I understand on one level. And I also see a lot of this sentiment on Reddit, where there are a lot of people who say, you know what, all this it's okay is like bullshit. Like things have consequences. Sure, they do, right? But how should we interpret this? Like, if I were to tell you, it's okay to freeze up, what do I really, really mean by that? It's like this. I don't know about other people. I don't know about other life coaches. But I believe in unconditional happiness, right? I believe there are no dependencies when it comes to happiness. So, if freezing was an actual blocker in happiness, right? And there is no way for you to be happy while you freeze. In that case, I would tell you, yes, let's work on freezing. Because if you keep freezing, there's no way you're going to be happy. But in that case, what if you have a part of your brain that involuntarily freezes you? There are people who experience this kind of things, right? Or even if you were born fine, what if you have like an accident and then it impairs a part of your brain and then you freeze every few, minutes or seconds or so? Now, in that case, are you never going to be able to be happy? Are you doomed to a life of eternal suffering as long as you're alive and death is the only way to escape from this prison? That's not the model of happiness that I subscribe to. The model of happiness that I subscribe to is happiness is unconditional. So when I tell you it's fine to freeze up, what I'm really saying is, you freezing up or not has nothing to do with your happiness. So we need to do the accounting separately. Why do you freeze? That's a nice thing to investigate. But we have to be able to think about happiness in our lives regardless of the conditions that we have in our lives. Even if I have my arm amputated, I should be able to be happy. Even if my parents get divorced, I should be able to be happy. Even if I'm addicted to drugs or games, I should be able to be happy. Because happiness has no conditions. That's my overarching philosophy when it comes to life coaching, when it comes to, working with people, right? So, in that case, you get eaten by a tiger in real life. You're assuming that being eaten by a tiger is worthy of suffering. So if you get eaten by a tiger, there is absolutely no way you can be happy. And it's a unilaterally bad thing. There's no way you can argue that it's a good thing. There's no way you can argue that it's anything but a bad thing. So when you have a rigid mind like this, when you already made up your mind about what's good and what's bad, then you kind of live the life that you designed for yourself, right? You create more and more reasons why you cannot be happy. I'm not saying that's the wrong thing to do. It's just that it's not the model of happiness that I subscribe to. Therefore, I like to offer you my model of happiness, right? So in that spirit, it's fine to freeze up. Why? Because it has nothing to do with your ability to be happy. Okay, it's a bit of an involved answer, but there's a lot of interesting points that I covered, I think, so I hope it is helpful for you. If you're interested in exploring life coaching with me, check out my website at www.julylifecoach.com.